Previously on Masks and Martyrs.
Are you not entertained?
As a reaction, I'm going to close my book as though my will was done.
Team up, please, team up! So Bard Boy, he just fucking dives between your legs.
Begin penning a song of my glory.
Can I use a random card?
Yes, you fucking can. Brika, a door opens next to you. Inside, there is what seems to be a strange metallic stand. You see that there are flashing words next to different buttons. There are two options that are traps.
This is so weird.
Suddenly, the ground in front of these 5 dudes opens up, and only one guy manages to jump back, and then you hear screaming and hissing.
Next time you listen to Brika.
Oh shit! Aye! And then the young lion of Kobold Kai comes up behind him.
Hey kid, wanna join the winning team?
Brika gives the young lion just a little spiky claw up.
You can see the dust settling. And you, Reagan, see sort of standing amidst the chaos a figure wearing the colors of the Gothic military. The gong sounds again, and the first round of the Masked Mayhem is over.
Last session, y'all were contacted by Lynn von Tepler because her brother was being just a big old dummy and decided he was going to secretly enter the yearly tournament called the Masked Mayhem in the Grand Coliseum of Antilla. It is especially prominent in election years, which this is one of them. And Lynn does not know exactly who he is in there, like what his persona, what his gimmick is, but you all do seem to know that if she figured out that he's going in, other folks likely have as well. So, you all, for better or worse, agreed to join the mayhem in your goofy nerd costumes.
God, we're nerdy.
Reagan took this very seriously, actually. She is angling for the little-known Best Costume in Mayhem prize.
I didn't say you didn't take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I just said that it was nerdy.
Well, I find that insulting.
Those are not mutually exclusive. But you enter, and over the course of the first round, you all actually did relatively well. You brought from the estate the socially anxious elven druid, Tamzin, who proved to be a pretty big help to your team with her natural magics. You also sort of threw your lot in kind of randomly with, like, a half-elf bard.
I mean, because, like, why not, you know?
Yeah, who just tried, like, to appear very tough at first, but then as soon as he got into combat, that just melted away, and he is just like, deeply terrified at this point.
To be fair, he ran directly at us.
And Reagan was like, hey, I could always use more servants.
Right, yeah. You just sort of, like, happened into that alliance.
I mean, I find that a little disrespectful to the subtle political machinations that I had going there, but, you know, it's, yeah, sure.
I mean, I feel like you were more just trying to survive, you know?
And we did! Like, pretty damn well.
But then, after that, you saw the young lion of Kobold Kai being surrounded, and you all got involved, and Brika just destroyed my entire fight there.
Sorry!
With just one card drawn. It
That
was
was some
exciting.
Yu-Gi-Oh shit.
I'd like to play Brika Cha in defense mode.
After all of that, standing in the rubble, you all saw a number of other individuals who survived this dangerous first round. Where we last cut off, Reagan was noticing for the first time across the arena someone wearing battered and tattered Gothic colors and armor.
That's also my favorite way to prepare chicken. Battered and tattered. Go for it.
You just hit it a lot, and then you, like, chop it a lot, and then you just put it on the plate. Don't even cook it.
The salmonella gives it flavor.
But ignoring our chicken discourse, we pick back up as y'all are ushered into the waiting rooms. And you all see that for the most part, your room made out pretty okay. The Grapplin Halflings are okay. Thomas Scheffling, aka the Bone Grinder, seems fine. And the ogre with his bag of rocks, all good. All his rocks are accounted for, it seems. As is the young lion of Kobold Kai, the trembling, like, shaking wolfman, and the very, very lame half-elf bard that y'all just saved.
It's okay, he can be lame. That's Reagan's subject. He doesn't need to be cool. I just need him to play sick guitar riffs for me.
Well, you all are back in here, and they need time to set up for the next round. So, what do you do in the interim?
Well, first, Reagan's gonna clap her new servant on the shoulder with a heavily armored hand and say, "You did good." That's all I got. Reagan goes and sits down to take a short rest.
Monty is, like, having this inner battle about whether or not to take off his mask. He's like, I committed so hard to this role, but it's hot, and I'm dying, so he's gonna, like, hold up this wall and try and look cool while sweating like a goth in the southern summer heat.
A noble pursuit.
Also a relatable one.
Oh, hey, Bard. Can you do your, the song of rest thing? You got that? Is that a thing you can do?
You mean you want me to play you a tune?
Yeah, like, while we're lounging here.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Great! She doesn't really need it, but, like, it's one per short rest, so it's not wasting anything. Oh, I need to roll my second one before he does that, because he's not playing for nothing. Reagan might make him play for nothing anyway. Yeah, she's a full. He can play for nothing, though. And Brika is still down 4 HP. I will roll that for Brika.
Monty's actually topped up. I think Tamzin healed him.
Yeah, I think so. So, while y'all are doing that, the door opens behind you. Not the door to the arena, but the door you entered into initially when you signed up. And there's a moment of tension with the folks who are a bit more experienced. Walking in, you see two figures. The first is this massively built human. He's wearing tight leather pants, no shirt, just rippling muscles. And he exudes this air of danger as he moves over to what appears to be like a pre-set up gear station for him. The other figure who enters is wearing a leaf-shaped mask over their face and a mantle of autumn leaves draped over browning leather. As they enter Reagan, you notice the bard begins to falter a bit, seeming to recognize these figures.
You know them?
Yeah. I mean the second one, that's the Alder King. They're a pretty high-level fighter around here. But the other one, that's the King of the Ring.
Oh.
He's one of the 3 legends.
Ooh. I'm definitely gonna beat him up later. I also assume the Ghost of Gothric is not in here. That'd be too
No,
easy.
the Ghost of Gothric seems to have gone back to their rooms with some of the others from the scrum.
Gotcha.
So, the King of the Ring walks over to the corner site, to the corner where his gear is all set up, sits down on the stool there, starts getting ready, just kind of like giving off this very composed vibe. He's done this before, and he doesn't seem particularly intimidated by anyone here. Like he entirely knows what y'all are about.
Can Reagan roll perception to size him up?
Roll insight for just like how extra is his extra, you know?
14?
So you can't quite make out that much because you can tell that this is a performer, right? Like he is a wrestler on some level, so some amount of him is dedicated towards the crowd. But despite that, he is exceedingly dangerous. You can tell that much. If you were to go toe-to-toe with him, just one-on-one, you would probably go down. Like, you don't get to be one of the 3 legends without actually having something to back yourself up.
That makes sense.
But the other figure walks up to you, and, Sarah, what does the Alder King do?
So, y'all are just chilling, resting with your bard buddy, right?
Yep. Legs spread in a most unladylike fashion. Just chilling.
Okay. You see in the air next to the Alder King words form that just say, "You are new here?"
Do I have to roll to see if Reagan knows how to read? I'm just kidding. Yeah. That's it.
Dang.
Her parents who paid for her noble education are rolling in their graves.
Whom do you represent?
Me? Was that a thing? Was there paperwork? Is there a form? I'm not good at paperwork. That's cool magic, sign thing you got. You got no mouth under there?
At that last comment, Reagan, the bard kind of turns to you, looks at you just a little shocked, and he's like, the Alder King doesn't speak speak to people? The Alder King, like, let's be clear, is a forest spirit. And like,
actually?
if the Alder King were to speak, the Fey magic in their voice would be so entrancing. Like, oh my god, you have no idea.
Yeah, whatever. I'll take my chances. So you got no mouth.
The Alder King will just turn away and head to a corner of the room to watch everything.
Oh, well, I guess forest spirits don't have manners.
So Sarah, here's what the Alder King sees in addition to these folks. There's the King of the Ring, who kind of gives you not quite a nod, but a look of recognition. You've both been around for a while, put in the time. You see two very muscular halflings in comedy and drama masks, practicing like grapples and holds on each other. You see a gnoll wearing a leopard print strongman outfit with half-moon spectacles on as he's reading a rather difficult-looking book. There's an elven girl in a mouse mask, a kobold in a karate gi, and a lion mask. And you recognize that gi. It is from Kobold Kai. Mm-hmm. There's also an ogre with a bag of rocks, and and then there's the one who's been very quiet. There's this like human who has just no body fat, but he's very fit, but he's just wearing just a wolf mask and like trousers. He's just sitting there, staring forward and just shaking constantly.
Okay.
Can Reagan go say hi to the gnoll?
Yeah, you can still go say hi to Thomas.
Okay, cool. So Reagan walks up to him and says, "Hey, good job on getting through the thing."
Yes, well, I wouldn't be much of a veteran if I wasn't able to make it past the first round of the mayhem. I see that you and yours did all right.
Yeah. Oh, and I got a new guy.
It looks like you got two.
Two? Reagan's like counting on her fingers.
The young lion over there seems to be among your ranks.
Oh yeah. I mean, I kind of know his boss. Like, we go way back. Like, out in the real world, when I'm not wearing, like, this.
I am familiar with the real world, yes.
That's usually where I kick it. Anyway, hope we get to duke it out, since you seem like a worthy opponent and all that. Sorry, I'm saving my actual drama for when I get back out there.
Of course. Wouldn't want you to overplay your hand.
Hey, maybe we could even team up later, even.
Well, I wouldn't want to disturb your team dynamic. It seems as though you have a strong bond.
I mean, honestly, I could take or leave most of them.
Thanks, Reagan.
Anyway, see ya. Then she's gonna head back to her friends that she doesn't care about, apparently.
Did Monty succeed in holding up the wall the whole time?
I'm gonna need you to make a strength check for that.
Roll a chill check.
So, you will have to wait around here for like half an hour before the next round.
Is there anywhere private by here, like a changing room or something, somewhere Monty can sneak off to?
Not necessarily here, but there are bathrooms for competitors that are like fairly private. Like, there's like a stall. You know?
Want to stand behind Reagan? Because like she can hold out her petticoats, make a curtain.
Just Reagan becomes the stage curtain. It's like that costume from Karate Kid where he's like in like the shower. He's like a shower curtain around him, but it's just Reagan holding it over Monty.
Yeah, little does everyone know that this whole thing has been a Karate Kid AU.
Oh my god.
It's a prequel for the eventual Karate Kid AU.
Monty's just gonna duck down behind Reagan to take off his mask and like prestidigitation the costume sweat off.
Fair enough.
Even death cowers behind Countess Von Blood.
Even death wishes he could take a shower.
Oh, Andrew, does the bard have a name? Because I've just been calling him Bard this whole time.
He does have a name. He has two names, actually, not that you asked.
Bard.
And a backstory, but
It's fascinating.
It's fine.
I mean, maybe Brika wants to know.
Yeah, actually, what's Brika up to right now? You don't have to ask about the bard, by the way. I'm actually just curious about what you're up to.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. Brika doesn't care about. Nope. Brika is briefly checking in on the young kobold, just making sure he's okay. She gives him a nod, like, "You all right?"
I think so. This is a lot more than I thought it was gonna be. I'm not even supposed to be here.
Hmm?
The sensei says we're not supposed to use our training for personal gain, but I really need this prize money,
Right.
Andrew, how much is the prize money?
You don't know. You have not asked anyone.
I hate to say it, but Brika doesn't, she doesn't really care about why he needs the money. She just wanted to make sure he was okay,
I mean, he's physically okay, but financially he's in ruins.
I like how I'm over here just oh, they all have backstories, they all have hooks and things to explore later, and then I'm just like,
Yeah, that's
nope,
nice.
Listen,
nope,
backstories are very cool, but we're on a mission, and this is clearly not Lynn's brother. So,
Listen.
What tipped you off, the snout?
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm fine. We're all fine. Let's move on.
One last thing before we move on, though. When Brika's nearby, Monty kind of ducks down to talk to her so no one can see him with his mask half off and says, "What was that? Was that okay before in the ring? The whole shtick?"
what?
You know, a shtick.
My shtick. My whole shtick.
Your persona?
Yes, that.
Oh, it's fine.
Too much?
No, it's good. People seem to like it.
Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm doing.
Don't worry so much, Moneypants.
Money Pants definitely would have been a better persona, though, just saying.
You know...
Hey, how unusual is it to change your entire shtick between matches?
You technically could, but you would lose all your crowd favor.
Fair. Counterpoint, Monty's really sweaty.
Wait. But wouldn't it be pretty cool if Monty changed right in the middle of everything to go from the specter of death to the specter of taxes?
Did I mention I have money?
Capitalism does often signify the death of society. I am a metaphor.
I think that might be just like a little high concept for this crowd.
Oh, okay, yeah, harsh on the crowd, my guy. Come on, these ain't no marks. These are discerning viewers. Okay.
I mean, and they correctly ascertained that Brika was the best one.
Well, I mean, Brika pulled some shit where she walked into a magic door and then a pit of snakes opened up. So, that's a pretty clear signifier of that.
Yeah, I'm the best one.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Brika's not going to be satisfied with that deck of cards until she actually pulls one that makes something blow up.
She wants the boom. Now put me in, coach.
Oh, trust me, we're getting there. We only have 19,999 to go. So everybody's good now. Anything else you want to do?
Monty really wants to ask the leaf person questions, but that's not gonna work for either of them.
How do I become as cool as you?
break up with Lynn.
Oh,
That's how you become a cool.
Wait, are we together?
I mean,
Are we official?
I think that for Wisteria's purposes, you're two together.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who is Wisteria? This is the Alder King.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if Wisteria happened to be here,
Yes.
Break up with Lynn.
If she were here right now.
Sometimes I can still hear her voice.
Well, you literally can't because the Alder King doesn't talk.
Maybe in Reagan's mind palace, she reads all text in Wisteria's voice. Did you ever consider that?
Oh my god, I want to see the super, dorky, over-the-top, Sherlock mind palace, but I want to see Reagan's. And it's just like
yeah, this
everything.
is my mind pad,
Everything's off color and poorly lit, and there's just kazoos playing. And Reagan's just screwing her face
Hold
up.
on, I know it's in here somewhere.
It's like a dilapidated beer house.
Hold on, let me remove this PTSD and
Just throw that behind the couch.
Overturned barrel.
Is that my Vita? Is that my PS Vita? Oh hell yeah! Hold on to that. I need to grab that in a second.
I'm coming, Persona 4. Who needs parents?
I never played Gravity Rush Zero Horizon.
Anyway.
Ignoring Reagan's PS Vita.
That's what Reagan's doing for the rest of her break. She's playing her Vita in her mind palace.
Oh god. Well, so, moving on, I'm gonna say, that's your 30-minute break. The feelings of relief begin to give way to tension, though, as the next stage approaches. You all hear once more that gong, and you see the other fighters standing up and getting ready.
Reagan stretches as she stands up. Gotta stay limber.
At this point, the young lion approaches and says,
maybe we're better off without such a big team. Six folks are going to draw a lot of attention. That's sort of how you get got.
Coward. I mean, suit yourself. It's fine if you want to die today. I mean, not die. Non-lethally.
Look, I get it. I appreciate it, but... And I know what you're trying to do, but, like,
Wait, is the bard leaving?
No, just the young lion. That bard
sorry.
doesn't have the balls to stand up to Reagan.
You guys are really shitting on my bard boy.
He'd be dead without me, so,
Monty seriously considered killing him.
Which he's
Non-lethally.
clearly rethinking and realizing he made a poor decision, so we really need to drive home the fact that he should never come back here. We're just helping the decision
my
process. He's gonna get hurt!
It's called the Masked
for your own
Mayhem.
good,
What do you
boy.
think happens here?
I don't know. I know what I thought was gonna happen. I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, he clearly misjudged this.
Anyway.
The lion says,
I'm just saying you're going to have a target on your back if your group is too big.
Yeah, but, my whole thing is kind of conquering, so it works better for my shtick if I bring people in. For the bit. I get what you're saying, but also I'm big.
You are big, if that was the most important thing, but from here on out, they're going to be bigger and tougher. But I don't want to tell you how to handle your business. I'm just saying, be careful out there.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Tell your sensei I said hi. She's gonna turn to the rest of the team and say, so here's my plan.
I have an idea.
We physically split up, but have each other's backs.
Or that works too. That's much better than my idea. My idea was that Death was going to forsake Duchess Von Blood.
But I'm your best customer! I have a punch card!
that would be a fucking wild magic item.
Yeah, because every time she
You
punches
kill
someone...
9 people, 10th one is free. That would be actually wild.
No armor class, no nothing.
So, here's what I'm thinking. Bard, Reagan points to him. What is your name, by the way? What the hell should I be calling you?
Well, my real name is Debling Hamshaw, but my character, I worked pretty hard in it. He's called the Grey Death.
Death, like death, not deck, like a
No,
patio. Sure.
like death, like, I'm dead now. What a terrible day. And like gray.
Monty is giving him such a look even through the mask.
Okay, you're Gray Ham.
The Grey Ham.
The Grey Ham!
We stick together because of the shtick that you and I established in the last round. I think we have good crowd chemistry.
Makes sense, I think.
Monty, your whole thing feels like more of a solo bit, so I'm thinking you just kind of keep in orbit around us, and if we're in trouble, you can just, come back. You can teleport, right? Just teleport.
Okay.
Brika, Tamzin, you beautiful people just do what you gotta do. But, stick together, maybe.
Maybe?
Well, what would a mouse do?
I mean, a mouse would probably eat some cheese in this scenario. But you know how when they lay out a mouse trap and then they eat the cheese, but they don't get caught? Be that mouse.
I don't have any cheese. Any more cheese.
No. It's metaphorical cheese, and it's already out there in the trap already, and you go get the cheese. You don't bring the cheese.
Cheese in the trap. Cheese in the trap.
Okay.
It's a metaphor for courage. Or something.
I could make you a minor illusion cheese if you'd like.
Okay, did nobody bring their dairy ration packs with cheese in them?
No, I left it in my other pants, the real money pants.
Oh, what, these? These are not the money pants. These, tears them off, are the money pants.
Okay. So, I'm gonna go in first with Grey
Hey, it's
Ham,
the full
because-
Monty.
How did we go this long without making that joke?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lord.
Anyway, alright. So Graham and I are gonna go in first, because the rest of you guys are squishy, and if I draw a bunch of attention to me, which is generally what I do, you guys should have more cover when you get in there.
Wait, what about me?
You stand directly behind me.
Oh, okay. Fair. Yeah, fair. Okay.
Worst case scenario, you go home, rethink your life choices, never come back here. Then you have a great story to tell your grandkids, who you will live to see.
I don't know if I want to be thinking about grandkids right now.
So, we're all good. We have the plan. Graham's on board. Stay in a triangle. Stay close enough that it, like, you know, you can see us, but it doesn't look like we're, like, together. Pretend we're back in high school, and I'm way too cool to hang out with you guys, but I really need you to feed me like, what to say to this cute girl that I'm on a date with.
Triangle offense.
I was homeschooled, though.
And, I mean, Brika's already too cool to hang out with us, so...
Yeah, Brika's gonna dissolve into the shadows as soon as that door opens.
So, at this point, the gate opens and other fighters take a few seconds before they start heading out. The last two to go out are the Alder King and the King of the Ring, who says, "Rookies should probably go before the vets."
Is that an insult? Should I be insulted?
Monty gives a flourishing bow as if to say, "You first, sir."
Well, gotta stick to your bit, I guess. And he goes to leave.
Wait, hold on. He doesn't speak for me, and Reagan cuts in front of him now that she can be contrary about it. He
Okay.
goes into the ring.
As you all enter in, Reagan, you see this first. What was once a huge sandy field is now a series of metal cage arenas.
Oh,
There
no.
are 10 in total, all next to each other in 2 rows of 5. And can I get a perception check?
You got it. Oh, I'm gonna perceive the hell out of that. That is a 21.
Nice!
Where is the nearest Dragonborn? or the Ghost of Gothric? Is he fighting someone else already? Did they start without us? Mostly where's the Dragonborns, but I should also, know where that guy is, because my backstory.
but also, this could be something that Andrew, actually planned.
Yeah, I guess, the Ghost of Gothric seems pretty cool and important for my backstory,
I
but...
just love the idea of, it's such a... If there was ever, a modern, D&D thing to happen, yes, I, the DM, I'm laying all these little seeds, all these little seedlings all throughout. Ooh, could this be a factor in this mystery you're investigating? And then someone's just ooh, I'm gonna fuck that, though.
Listen, our party is very diverse. We don't like to fit into party stereotypes. Mm-hmm. Our fighter is gonna fuck a lizard.
It's true, the bard has no interest.
Yeah. Where are my friends? The Dragonborn.
So there are actually 2 Dragonborn in sight right now.
Fuck yes.
There's one not too far from you who's green Dragonborn with some red modeling on the scales around his neck. He's wearing a domino mask and a big sort of outback hat and a necklace with teeth around his neck and this open kind of tattered vest. He's just standing there chomping a cigar.
Is he a Gil monster? What are those lizards in Australia?
But that's something that you're gonna have to investigate in the but he's just
maybe someday, kid, you'll get to make your own perception.
He's just well, Monty did say that he was waiting, so Reagan does get first action on that. So the first one's standing there just chomping on a cigar, kind of taking everybody in, arms crossed, big beefy Dragonborn arms crossed. You also see the mysterious Dragonborn contender, Mysterioso Fabuloso.
The one with the top hat?
Yes, and you can tell now that he is a brass Dragonborn. And just so we're clear, Sarah, since you weren't here, he is Dragonborn Tuxedo Mask. That is the situation. I just don't want there to be any miscommunication. I want to be upfront.
I love him.
As well, you all should. He's a great guy. But further away, sort of 2 cages away, you see Reagan. You see the man wearing Gothriker colors.
Okay, can I do an insight check to see if I can discern anything further about that person?
Sure.
I mean, I know this is a lot in a few seconds, but what's a 16 get me?
16. So you see that the armor looks pretty battered and worn. The guy's comfortable in the armor, but not necessarily comfortable being here. It's
Mm-hmm. Is the armor legit? Does it look authentic?
Oh yeah, that's 100% Gothriker.
Alright, that armor either means he's one of her allies, or he killed one of her allies for it, so she's making a beeline for him if she can.
So there are attendants directing people into various rings. The bard behind you,
Graham.
The Grey Hat.
Graham looks around the cages and says, man, okay, you probably need to know this. This is when the vets are gonna be involved, the tough ones.
Yeah, cool. What do you know about the Ghost of Gothric?
Him? Oh, I mean, he does decently well. He's never been a super impressive fighter, but he gets put through his paces like everybody else. He's been here a couple of months, I think. I don't know too much about him. Why?
No reason, just like hearing you talk.
So after this, who is going next out of the waiting area?
Brika's next.
Brika's next. Brika goes. You go in, and you are directed into the next cage.
Separate from Reagan.
Yes. Then Monty, you are directed to another one.
For the plan.
Can I roll to get Dragonborn Tuxedo Mask? Can she sneak into his cage, like switch spots with somebody?
Roll a stealth check for me.
Oh, sick. That's her specialty, as we all know.
I mean, there are literally 100,000 people watching this.
Do any of them have passive perceptions below 3?
There are, in 100,000 people, a few people, yes. Like,
It doesn't
Not the
work.
majority.
there's some distracted mothers who are trying to keep the kids in line. There's, like, an old man who just, like, can
Like, buying
barely see.
popcorn.
Yeah, there's, like, an old man who's, like, is, like, having everything related to him by, like, his grandkid. It's a whole mess.
You'll just have to appreciate him from afar.
Reagan, as you try and shuffle over there, you hear a voice from the next cage over. You know, you really shouldn't be trying to sneak into other people's areas. At this point, you see a leanly built...
Dragonborn.
No, and he is, in fact, what you assume to be a young man.
Damn it!
Reagan, please remember we're actually looking for someone who is not a Dragonborn. That's the mission.
Mission?
That's the thing.
You gotta find all the Dragonborn first so you can rule them all out.
Exactly.
Process of elimination.
Yes.
Reagan's Big Book of Dragonborn. It's like T.S. Eliot's Book of Cat Poems, except it's about Dragonborn.
Does that mean we're getting a Dragonborn musical?
Yes,
Yes.
Reagan the music.
Yes.
Reagan's.
No, it's Dragonborn. Reagan's would be my nightmare.
Ventricle Reagan's.
Oh God. We're moving on from that world.
Yeah, anyway, tell me more about this young, not Dragonborn.
Yeah.
So he has a shield and a longsword, sort of a similar style to yours. And he's sort of slotted to enter the cage next to you.
Oh, nah, I got lost. My bad. I just, I didn't want to hang out with the Dragonborn or anything. It's fine. Like, it's whatever.
Deception check for me?
Are you even really trying to deceive, or are you just saving face?
I'm not usually actually trying to deceive. That's an 11, so maybe if he's real dense or polite, he'll just go with it.
No. He gives you like a very dubious look, like, yeah, okay, sure. And,
I'll take it.
you see he is wearing a mask, which is like, it's sort of like a phantom mask, but like the rest of his face is covered in like a black fabric.
Can I roll insight to see if there is anything else interesting about this guy?
Sure.
That is... Oh, wow. 18 plus 2. 20 modified.
As you take him in, you see that his sword hand is heavily calloused. This is a dude who's been working at this just for a while now, like years and years of practice.
Okay. No other defining features, no hair exposed or anything?
No, he's pretty well concealed.
Okay. But he's in shape and good at swords. Cool. Okay. Reagan will go back to her assigned place, I guess.
As she looks forlornly at the Dragonborn.
I assume Graham has a sad violin going. Like,
Oh, totally. You know,
It's tragic.
that's all this character that I created is good for. Apparently.
Listen, Andrew, you knew the risk you were running.
when you allowed Reagan into your
Running us
game.
into this world.
It's true. It's true. But at this point, just to break it down, on your guys' side, it's currently Reagan is in the middle, Monty's on the far left, and Brika's on the far left, and Monty's on the far right. And as you all line up your respective locations, Tamzin was with you, Brika.
Yes.
She kind of looks around, points up, and says, "Do you notice that there's the cages?" And you notice, Brika, the cages aren't that far apart, maybe like 5 feet between each one. That on one side of each one there, the metal is like different there, sort of hinged, as if they are able to open.
So there's going to be a switcheroo.
That is what we call it in the industry, yes.
When we approach these cages, do we see our opponents?
Yeah, so Monty, for you, there are that very graceful Minotaur, the Dragonborn with like the Crocodile Dundee type getup.
What? Oh, so Monty gets the Dragonborn. Fine, whatever. It's chill.
You know what? Maybe
Actually scared
you took the bard, and I'm not gonna say that this is a little spiteful, but maybe you should have asked him his name a little earlier. Maybe you should have gotten to know him a little more. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. I'm not petty. Monty, you also have a human who has a scowling mask over his face, and hold on, let me get his name so I don't forget. Monty, that is the harming from Horming.
Oh my god.
These are pro wrestlers. What do you expect me to do? Huh? Okay. So you have the harming from Horming,
Brilliant.
the wrestler, and Dancer the Minotaur.
I know that the wrestler is supposed to be some kind of like Australian themed guy, but I just keep thinking of him as Florida Man.
You are the expert. I mean, like, you would know. You would know better than any of us.
No. I'm thinking of Rambo the ATV riding gator.
The Florida man of our hearts. So Monty is those three. Reagan, you have, let's see, it's you, Graham, Topher, who's the ogre with the bag of rocks, and you also have another half-elf who has a number of musical implements strapped all over his body.
Oh man, Bard off.
You also have K and O, the grappling halflings. Then Brika, you have Tamzin, a diminutive goblin called Whimper, the constantly shaking wolf guy.
Oh, delightful.
And you have Mr. Slithers.
Mr. Slithers.
Mr. Slithers is a naga. He's my buddy.
That's someone's sexual fetish.
I'm pretty sure I follow them on Tumblr.
God damn it. Well,
Just ruining Andrew's beautiful cake that he baked for us.
I made so many wrestlers for y'all, and you're all just like, which one's fuck, which one's not fuck.
I'm just
No,
saying.
I love them.
You know what?
Listen, Nagas are cool as a character, as a creature concept. I'm just saying there are a lot of people that are like way into that. I'm
weren't
not one
in
of them,
the,
but
in the
Sarah-
trenches with us on
Sarah,
DeviantArt in
please save me from
2004.
this. As a veteran, tell me where the Alder King goes. As a veteran fighter, the Alder King gets to choose which arena they enter. Just
Oh dang. Okay. So Monty's got the Minotaur, the Dragonborn, and the human.
Why did I send Monty solo? Why did I say those words with my horrible mouth?
I thought he'd be able to just orbit.
he's fine.
so, you're gonna go into the one with Monty.
Yeah.
Yay! I have Sarah!
You can be silent partners.
Yeah, does the Elder King's whiteboard have a text back function for...
The King of the Ring is still back in the entryway to the arena, and the Elder King, you hear him say, almost himself, "All right, let's give him a show." And he comes out to just an explosion of cheers and applause from either side of him. He throws his hands up in the air, and the crowd just goes fucking wild. He goes into the cage next to you, Reagan, where you had spoken to the guy with the phantom mask. And as you all enter your respective places, the announcer comes on again and says, "All right, folks, we've got a real treat for you today. Not only do we have the three legends reunited again, right here, we have a bit of a special round. You see, folks, out of every one of these cages, only 2 can advance into the next round.
Oh shit, good thing we split up.
However, there is another one, which the fighters will get into when it comes up. Now, we have 5 minutes of unadulterated, uninterrupted cage fight. So, when the gong sounds, you know what to do."
Hello, friends, and welcome to this week's heart-pounding episode of Masks and Martyrs. I hope you're enjoying it so far. This one was really fun to mix. And surprise, this is the very last re-record. So next week we'll be back to original audio, and that's awesome. Thank you so much for sticking with us so far and for coming to this week's episode. Let's do some housekeeping. So first off, if you're enjoying the show, we would love if you would check out our new YouTube channel. If you search for Masks and Martyrs on YouTube, we should show up. Masks and Martyrs D&D podcast. Not everything is up on there yet. We're still working on getting the backlog put in video format. Thank you so much to Katie for heading that up. But we wanted to branch out. We are also on Spotify now, so you can now listen to us really anywhere you get your podcasts. And as always, if I have missed any, message me and I will fix it. If you like this show, you'll probably be interested in other podcasts that we have on the Nerdification Media Network. Sarah and Katie recently came back from their hiatus on the Fruits Cast, so if you are into the Fruits Basket anime, definitely go check that out. You can check out all the rest of our shows at nerdification.media. This week, we are sponsored as always by Lambda Chops. Lambda Chops is a North Carolina artist who creates cosplays, art, and music with her children and nerdy family. Her mission is to encourage anyone at any level to practice their art every day. You can find her at lambdachopshop.com, or if you're on Instagram, she is at lambdachops. Last but not least, the music credits. Our intro is Threads of Fate by Thomas Hart and Diana Paparosi. This week's mid-roll is by Kevin MacLeod, but it is not Dreamlike. Dreamlike was used for the previously on section, and the mid-roll is Big Rock by Kevin MacLeod. I absolutely love this. It works perfectly as the King of the Rings theme, and I hope you guys love it half as much as I do. Kevin MacLeod is a national treasure. Sometimes I just listen to his music in the background while I work. And our ending theme, of course, as usual, is Mary Meet Meg by Hopper and the Books on Tape. So thank you again for coming to this week's episode, and I will see you guys next week when we go weekly for the next episode of the Masked Mayhem. Thanks for stopping by.
And I think the best way to do this will be for me to go through each room real quick and for the first 3 rounds before things start changing. So first we'll start with the Alder King and the Harbinger, with the Wrestler, the Harming from Horming, and Dancer. So will each of you please roll initiative for me? And this will be the initiative that we use for the whole section.
All right, so don't screw it up.
Yeah, don't fuck it up, Katie. Oh, hey, 18.
Nice, 23.
Okay, so first no surprise, is the Alder King.
Yeah, that was a good roll.
So you all are currently arrayed around each other, and as soon as the gong rings, you're ready to spring into action.
Okay, I would like to go for the Harming from Horming.
Sure.
If I can, just for flair, cast Cantrip Minor Illusion, just to have leaves swirling around me.
Yeah.
And can I use my knife?
Yeah. And for this, I'm assuming that everything is non-lethal, unless you specify otherwise. We're professionals, we're not going to murder each other,
Except for Reagan.
Reagan is an outlier and should not have been counted.
To be fair, I don't know if Reagan is a professional. I think this is like a passion project for her. It's like my dad in woodworking. It's just I just love it so much. And I think Reagan does have a lot to offer this organization. I just don't think that restraint is one of those things,
No, it is not.
All right, then I will non-lethally shank this dude.
Sure.
And that's a 20 to hit.
Yeah, 20 hits.
And I will use my special psychic thingy. And again, just minor illusion to make it all whispery and echoey and creepy, just for the aesthetic of it.
Sure. So, roll your damage. Let's see how harmed he is.
All right. Oh, that is so many dice. That's 17 damage.
Okay. So, as soon as this gong sounds, the Harbinger, you are ready for it, and you know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
But then the Alder King is already in front of the Harming from Horming, moving even faster than you are. And as he raises his shield to block, there's this swirl of leaves in front of him, and he tries to bat them away with his hand. But as soon as his hand is raised, there's just this knife that looks like it was carved from a living shadow, flicking out from underneath the Alder King's cloak, and it buries itself into this guy's gut. He lets out this scream of pain.
Non-lethal pain.
Oh, it's non-lethal pain, but pain can be non-lethal. He's
quite often is, actually.
Believe it or not, you don't die every time you get hurt. He stumbles back, clutching the wound with his shield hand and glaring at the Alder King. Next up, as you're watching this, Monty, you're seeing this first attack play out, and suddenly you feel a hand on your shoulder, and you hear a voice that says, "Pretty impressive, ain't it?" And he's gonna wrestle you. I'm gonna need you to make either an acrobatics or an athletics saving throw. Your choice.
As you can imagine, Monty's strengths do not lie in either of those. So I'm gonna go with acrobatics, though. That's a 7.
So, you turn,
Yeah.
and you see the big toothy grin of the wrestler as he grips you, flips you, and then just slams you down headfirst onto the mat.
Pour one out for Montague Pensmith.
My God.
Monty,
He was so
you're
young.
gonna take
All of it. Just all the damage.
11 points of damage.
Oh, Jesus, fuck!
Yeah, that's right, squishy boy.
He is then going to flip you again and just chuck you right into the middle of the ring. He cracks his neck. He looks over at the Alder King and he says, "You call that a knife?" And then it's the Harbinger's turn.
Oh, God! Alright. And how big is this ring?
Maybe like 40 by 40 feet.
And I'm in the middle of it, so I'm currently 20 feet away from the edge of the cage.
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
What I want to do is fire Witch Bolt, really showy, but deliberately miss over the wrestler's shoulder. And I want to use Witch Bolt to try to electrify the cage.
Okay.
That was a long silence.
That wasn't a question.
Make an attack roll.
And I could, theoretically, continue to keep the cage electrified.
Yeah. Go for it. Make a ranged attack roll.
Okay. 17.
Yeah. So you hit it. This will be interesting.
Yeah, kind of messes up my plan.
Sorry, Sarah, I wanted to be cool.
And it is cool enough for a point of crowd favor, we'll say.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot earlier, Alder King, you got a point of crowd favor as well for the spooky stuff.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
At this point, Dancer is going to step forward and just take 2 swings at the wrestler. The first one hits as he swings his warhammer and just clocks into this dude.
Throw him into the cage!
I'm about to roll for that, actually.
Yes!
So the wrestler takes 12 points of damage, and let's see if he can make a save, which he does, just barely. He catches himself just as his head is about to hit it. He his hat falls off and is just about to hit the cage, and then he snatches it up and puts it back on.
Oh, thank God.
It was a close one.
And then it is the Harming from Horming's turn. He is going to take 2 swings at you, Alder King. Mm-hmm. The first, man, he is not a great heal apparently because he got a natural 1 on his first attack. As he swings at you with his short sword, 1, 2. You can feel the speed of it, but he seems to have bought into the performance aspect of it a bit too much, and he just can't land the hit. The first you sort of drift out of the way of, and the second swing you're able to deflect with the illusory leaves that sort of swirl around you. And he falls for it again, swinging a hand at them and dropping his sword on the ground, at which point he goes, "Shit." And then it's your turn again, Alder King.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just hang out with my buddy here and go for him again. That's not a good roll. That's a 12 to hit.
So you step forward again, and you swing out your dagger, but he raises his shield and kind of ducks under it, turtling up so the blow glances off of it. But he's actually going to lose a point of crowd favor for that, because that's not very heal-like behavior.
Heh.
At this point, the wrestler is going to, he's looking for his next move. He doesn't really see a way around Dancer, who is in this graceful pose, almost like, what's the name of the first position in ballet?
I think they're just first position.
Yeah, I think we're not good Princess Tutu fans here, y'all.
Yeah, but like bending the knees, that's like the plie. What he's doing a plie. Fuck it.
All right,
Whatever it was, he's doing it.
Somebody will someday tell me what a plie is.
Somebody Google it.
Shield in one hand, Mace the other just gently bending at the knees.
I love him. The dancer is great.
The wrestler just looks at his options, turns back to look at the cage, smiles a bit, and says, "Well, wouldn't be fun any other way, would it?" And he's going to pull out his belt, which is metal.
And his pants fall down!
No, actually, he planned for that by wearing a second belt underneath it. So as he pulls off his first belt, you hear a roar of approval from the crowd, and he is going to run forward, try and slide past Dancer at you, Monty, because you are firing lightning at everything. So first off, we're going to see if he can get by. Dancer has the opportunity to hit, which he does. And he's going to deal... Whew. Look at you, Dancer. What a healthy young man you are. Dancer's going to deal 22 points of damage as he slams his mace down, swinging it like the arc of a golf club, and just cracks it into the wrestler's snout full on.
Yes!
However, he keeps going.
Oh, God!
He is going to slide up on you, Monty, and he's going to grapple you again. He's going to wrestle you again. So I'm going to need you to make...
Wait, so is the wrestler or the dancer going for Monty?
The wrestler.
The wrestler.
Okay.
So I'm going to need you to make an athletics or acrobatics check.
Yay! That's a 19!
19?
Yeah.
Okay, so you actually managed to get away from him this time. He sort of staggered from the blow of the mace, and as he comes to grab you, you're able to sort of just jump back up and out of his grip like some kind of very peculiar bird.
A very peculiar bird indeed. Okay, now it's my turn. All right. Can Mage Hand push?
Not something that big. Like,
Okay. So
he's a big boy
okay.
and that can lift like 5 pounds.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. I'm gonna aim a firebolt at him in hopes that the pressure will throw him into the fence, which is what I'm aiming for.
Sure.
Okay, with the bonus 19.
19 does hit, so roll your damage.
That's a 6.
So you twist your hands in the air before releasing a crackling bolt of fire, which hits him and leaves him looking pretty winded. And he's just going to say, "Oh, this isn't looking good for me, is it?"
But it didn't push him back?
Sadly, no, that is not what... Firebolt doesn't have that effect. And you guys are in like the middle of the ring where he threw you, so like even with like taking a step back from like the force of it, he's nowhere near the edge of it.
Got it.
Dancer is then going to sort of skirt around between the two of you and make one attack against each of you.
Okay.
So first, as the wrestler, he brings his mace down in an overhand swing, and the wrestler ducks down so low to dodge that he's practically on all four. The wrestler is sort of a total combatant, is like, his sort of style. Dancer then swings the mace back up at you, Monty, which is 16 versus AC.
God, it just hits.
Do you know this? I mean, you do know the shield spell, right? Like, I thought you've cast that, right?
I do know shield!
Do it!
Maybe you should cast shield then.
Okay, that's awesome! So my AC is now 19.
Okay, so in keeping with your aesthetic, when he swings at you, you silently put your palm out, and the mace just bounces off of a shimmering wall of force that you project.
Yes!
Dancer looks surprised for a second, then nods, and returns to first position.
Okay.
At this point, the Harming from Horming is going to keep trying to hit you, the Alder King. just his shield aimed at your head.
Okay.
And oof, yeah, I'm pretty sure that actually hits. That's a 19 naturally.
Ooh, yeah. That'll hit. Ouch.
And with his improvised weapon, let's see. As it catches you, it deals 6 points of slashing damage. As you notice, the outer edge of his shield is lined with blades.
Nice.
At that, he is going to get a hold of his broadsword, and he's going to face you with it. Try and face you with it, like holding it in two-handed. And now you're up.
Okay. I'm just going to point at him and hiss and use dissonant whispers.
Angry
Okay.
cat.
What's he got to make? What's he got?
Wisdom saving throw.
He's no, he's not going to make that. No, my guy.
I am going to cast that at second level.
Okay. Oh, wait, does he have to run away from you?
Yeah, he sure does.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Where will he run? Directly into my electrified fence?
I mean, that's exactly where he's gonna run. So, Sarah, roll your damage.
That's 15.
Oof. Big chunks. Now the people in the crowd, they don't hear the words you say, but they see you speaking with intent. And then they see the harming freeze. His eyes widen. He drops his sword, turns, and runs right into an electrified cage. And just gets, like, super zapped. Just, like, the zap. I'm gonna roll the damage for that. And... yeah, the harming is down. The harming from harming collapses.
Word up.
In just this sizzling explosion of sparks, he is thrown backward and towards you, the Alder King, but you just very casually sidestep out of the way, and he lands in this smoking heap between you, Dancer, and the Wrestler.
I like to imagine your smoke magic whiteboard just says word up on it.
The Wrestler kind of looks down at the now crispy harming and says, "Well, waste not, want not, I always say." And then he's gonna pick up the unconscious form of the harming from harming and run past you both, using it as a shield to prevent opportunity attacks, and square up at the other side of the cage, regaining his footing. Harbinger, you're up, and you are still currently engaged with Dancer.
Has the Dancer taken any damage?
No, Dancer's not taking damage.
Jesus.
Dancer's a good boy. He just wants to dance. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I actually feel bad trying to hurt him.
I mean,
His dad made him go to this fucking tournament, but he just wants to dance.
I mean, he's making it work for him.
literally, you're describing Dancer in a nutshell.
Oh, Dancer.
Oh, baby.
But look, end of the day, sympathetic backstories regardless, which a lot of people here have, not they all have asked. You're here to win. That's what you're here to do. You're here to win.
Yeah, and I'm not going after the Alder King because, one, that looks fucking terrifying, and two, it would be bad form for death to stand in the way of life, greenery, leaves, and stuff.
That's cool.
Oh, before we go any further, that reminds me, because you defeated the harming from harming, Alder King, you gain his 2 points of crowd favor.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm gonna use Firebolt on Dancer. Sorry, Dancer.
Dope.
Not my best roll, but 15?
So, you launch out that miniature meteor of fire, and Dancer sort of twists, putting out his shield, and it glances, scorching off the side of it. He then steps up to you, looks down at you, and is going to swing both of his attacks right at you.
I have a question before he does that.
Yes.
With potent cantrip...
Yes, you do have damage, yeah. Good catch.
Okay. 11.
Okay, so 5, round down, yeah. So that's gonna burn like along his arm, and he winces as he comes to stand over you and attack. 2 swings.
Fuck.
Natural 20.
Fuck.
But the other one does not hit.
Oh, okay.
So the natural 20, that's not too bad. You take 10 points of damage, all things said.
Okay.
And at this point, something happens. But it's the end of the round, so we're going to shift over to Brika and Tamzin. Brika, can you roll initiative for me, please?
You bet I can.
700.
Actually, that's a 3.
Oh, 100. No.
Plus 5, so a total of 8 for Brika.
Okay. So Tamzin is 18. Mr. Slithers is 14. You know what? Y'all laugh, but Mr. Slithers has a fascinating backstory full of intrigue and trauma, and if anyone got to know him,
I'm sorry. Just the name, I'm just imagining Mr. Smithers from The Simpsons, but as a snake man, and it's a terrible mental image.
Oh God. You know what? Fine.
No.
Brika, as soon as the gong sounds, you've never seen anyone move quite as quickly or ferociously as just the trembling wolf mask guy. He leaps into position onto the goblin, tackling him to the ground and starts like slashing him, not with knives, but with just his hands. He is tearing into this guy just with his bare hands. Just
Ugh. Okay.
so he got a crit. With his other attack, so the goblin, so Whimper takes 24 points of damage.
Oof.
The Wolfman just goes in, and Mr. Slithers looks over at that and decides that he wants no part of it. So he's going to come over and just spit some poison at Tamzin. Yes.
Oh no!
And then Tamzin does not save. Because it was a con save, and she's going to take 8 points of damage. After that, she is going to look over, take stock of what the Wolfman is doing, and she's going to use Thorn Whip to try and pull him off the goblin, which, no, that does not work. The vine twists out around him, but even as it tangles around his left arm, he just keeps going at this goblin. With each swing, he, rips at the vine to get the goblin beneath him. Even as the thorns dig in and cut and tear along the skin, he just doesn't seem to care at all. Brika, you're up.
Oh boy. Okay, Brika is going to throw a card at the Wolfman.
Okay.
That's a 13 plus, plus all the things. 21 total.
That's gonna hit. Roll your damage for me.
3 plus 5, 8.
Okay, so you flick out a card, and it scours along his back, leaving a trail of blood over his shoulder blade. But despite the obvious damage, he doesn't even react. He's just entirely focused on what he's doing.
Well, alright then.
Whimper's going to try and shove him off. However, he cannot get out from under him. So the Wolfman is going to make his next series of attacks that... another natural 20.
Oh dear.
So he hasn't stopped swinging into this goblin underneath him, but even though he hasn't stopped, Whimper just goes limp underneath him. The Wolfman then stands, turns, and sprints towards Tamzin, because Tamzin was the first one to challenge him.
Ugh.
Mr. Slithers, upon seeing this, decides there is clearly a greater danger here, and uses a spell to try and ice the ground under the Wolfman, who doesn't seem to care and just runs over it. Mr. Slithers is then going to slither away because he's not about this life. Julia, I'm sorry. He's very much supposed to be like a tough obstacle to beat, but also he's rolling really well. Just
Yeah.
Listen, we don't fucks with the Wolfman, okay?
So, Tamzin is the Wolfman is right next to her now, and she's gonna look at him in concern and go, and she casts Mirror Image on herself. As you watch, the air sort of shimmers, and suddenly there are 4 Tamzins.
They could start a band.
And she says, "I'm 4 mice."
3 extra mice. 3 extra mice.
Plus 1
penny to a
million
penny,
crowd favor.
Yeah, people are not having the idea of the Wolfman. They're not.
But the mouse, am I right?
I think right now people are for anybody who's not the Wolfman. Anybody who takes this guy down is like a hero in their eyes. Brika, you are up.
Okay, gosh. This Wolfman is terrifying. I guess I'm just gonna throw another card at him, I guess. See if it phases him this time.
Okay, make your attack.
Okay, 21 again.
And you do get sneak attack for this one, for damage for this one, because Tamzin is next to him and hostile to him.
Yes.
So you get to roll 3d6 plus 1d4 plus I think it's 5 for your total, which is a lot of damage.
Okay, hold on. Okay, that's 3 6s, so that bodes well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Plus 1 plus 5, so 18 plus 5, 20, 24. Am I math right?
Yeah, that's 24 damage. Dang. Woo, that's really good. Alright, so this time the card lands true, slicing along the bicep of his right arm, leaving this deep, bloody gash. And then just his head in that grinning, gaping wolf mask turns to you, Brika. You have gotten his attention.
Oh no.
It's not great. Not ideal. You know? It's what we in the biz say.
He's then going to sprint over to you, but first, Tamzin is going to use her attack of opportunity to... Oh, dang! Tamzin actually hit!
Yay!
Hey.
Yeah, she deals 8 damage. Hell yeah, Tamzin.
Mouse.
Tamzin just slams him with her quarterstaff, and you hear a cracking sound from his knee, and he starts to limp a bit, but he just keeps going, like...
Holy shit!
Kind of like lurching and stumbling as he's going, but his stride doesn't break. He reaches you, Brika, and you smell wolfsbane from the mask as he begins to attack. He's gonna make 2 attacks against you. First one is a 19. Second one is a 24.
Can I dodge either of those? Like uncanny dodge?
The first one or the second one?
First.
Okay. Alright, so you take so you're gonna take 10 points of slashing damage total, and Mr. Slithers is going to see this, looks a little confused, and he tips his top hat to you and says, "Well, I think you can handle that." And he slithers away.
He has a top hat?
Apparently!
That changes everything.
Apparently he has a top hat and he talks like that.
Okay, well, okay.
And he's just going to slither away and just observe the situation for a moment. Tamzin is going to once more try to pull this guy away, and this time she succeeds. She gets a vine around his leg and pulls it out from under him, leaving all of his weight on the leg that she'd weakened with the quarterstaff, and he stumbles back several feet away from you, Brika. And you're up.
I kind of want to pull a wacky card on him, but I don't know if I should waste it right now.
Wacky card sounds like something that, like a Saturday morning cartoon villain would have.
Yeah, man, the wacky
Brika
racers.
Chaw's wacky cards!
So I'll say this. As far as you know, there are 2 more rounds after this. So use that information as you will.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna pull a weird card.
Okay. Heaven or hell.
Hell.
So let's roll some d10s.
Okay. So the first is 1. Let's be a 5, 3, and 7.
1, 5, 3, 7.
Yeah.
What game-breaking delights shall we find today?
If nothing else, I need to pull a card while Sarah is here in session so she can see the madness.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
please enjoy, Sarah.
Okay.
It's the most horrifying item, right?
That's... Okay, well, shit, man. I guess roll to see who this happens to, because it's nearby.
4.
So as you pull this card and raise it triumphantly, you turn around and you see there is a banana peel on it. And Mr. Slithers, you hear him start screaming, and his scales start peeling off his body.
Oh my god! What the hell?
It says somebody nearby is peeled like a banana.
Alright, what if instead of that, you put him in a banana peel that magically shows up?
Magic
That's
banana.
peeled.
Can we peel the wolfman instead?
Look, the dice fell where they fell. But I will say, he's not dead.
Non-lethal damage.
Non-lethal.
Well, okay, because he's a Naga, and Naga have layers of scales.
Yeah, like an onion.
Sure.
He's just molting
I
early.
mean, it's a pretty traumatic molt, though.
Yeah, you're not supposed to just molt in front of everybody.
It's fine. He's got more scales, fresher scales under there, you know?
Okay, there's thousands of effects, y'all. There are 20,000 effects. They're not all gonna be winners.
I don't like that deck.
Oh, no.
I'm starting to not like the deck either.
Okay, so, well, regardless, that's the end of the 3rd round, which is pretty horrific. I'll admit that. That's
Yeah. Oh,
Brika's just standing there staring at her cards like, what the actual fuck
all right. So Reagan,
Barry Quembley, what have you done?
giving me? You monster!
somewhere.
Barry Twembley is in the middle of just shuffling his deck of cards.
Oh fuck, did I give her the fucked up one?
He just kind of
wrong
goes,
cards.
just thinking about that girl who's nothing but trouble and broke his big dumb heart.
He just goes, hey, you fool! She drew the wrong card. She didn't draw the good one.
God.
For clarification, I assume Brika isn't the one that got away.
No.
Brika's not the girl who broke his heart and got
No.
away. Like,
No.
okay, just clarify.
I feel like
Okay.
I feel like you know, like my general rule of thumb is that you know, if there's a character who fucks in Hintilla, it's probably Barry Twembley. But
Well, yeah, probably.
you know.
Like,
but I don't think.
maybe someday we'll find out.
Yeah.
Brika is A lesbian, and B, a character that notably does not fuck.
Yes, she is
She's an
ace.
ace lesbian.
Unlike Reagan, Brika doesn't feel the need to try and fuck everything around.
Listen, if you're going to establish one character in Hintilla that fucks, I'm going to establish one member of the party that wants to fuck.
That's fair.
That's not
fair.
Brika.
That's valid.
Reagan is horny
Yeah.
on name.
That's valid.
Let's go.
Let's go. Reagan, we're on to you. It's time.
Let's roll some tasty initiative. Alright, so 12 plus Reagan is 13. I mean, Reagan equals 1, because she is number 1.
That's just math. That's just numbers. That's just computers, you know.
Yeah.
So that's Reagan. Graham got a 3, which is exciting.
I was gonna be like, yay, but then I realized that's my boy, so I'm a little concerned.
The Grappling Halflings got a 10. First up, though, is the Battle Bard. Unlike the other contestants who are taking huge steps forward, he steps back, pulls out a 4-stringed lute, and starts strumming it like a bass, just like a bum, 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 bum.
Ooh, nice.
And Reagan, you are up.
Alright, remind me.
It's just the bass line from Barracuda.
Listen, when you have that many instruments, you can only play one song on each of them. And it's all Barracuda. I can only play Barracuda.
Other than the Barracuda Bard who is in my room.
So there's Battle Bard, aka the Barracuda Bard. There's Topher, the Chucker, aka the Ogre with a big bag of rocks. And the Grappling Halflings, K and O.
Okay, so she's gonna go for the Barracuda Bard, because, I mean, when you conquer, you want to cut off the support, cut the supply lines, so you go for the Bard. That's no good. 10, 11. Alright, so it's cool. That was just for funsies. Warm up. There you go. That was a nat 20. Much
Nice.
better. This is the importance of warming
Hell
up,
yeah.
kids.
Oh, did Brika get her crowd favor from peeling the snake?
Oh, right, yeah. Brika, take your 2 points for just cosmic horror of, of just unpeeling this person.
Everyone is horrified, including Brika Cha.
Yeah.
Alright, so back to Reagan. What's your damage?
Well, my parents and my siblings were all killed in the war. So I'm just kidding. Alright, I rolled a 3, which is 6 with a crit, plus 7, so 13. And I'm not done, because I want to do a disarming attack, because I don't want him to have a guitar anymore. That's my boy
Oh,
state.
shit. Alright, so he's gonna make that strength saving throw, which is not great at all.
Yeah, he has to be 15.
Can I be honest?
Always.
He didn't beat it.
Aw.
Not at all.
Well, all right. Let's throw an additional 3 damage on there. Let's go 16 total. And
Yeah, so you sort of run forward like a leaping, you just bash into him with your shield first, knocking his lute back, slam forward with your sword into a piercing stab, which he managed to get out of the way of, but he twists, exposing his arm, and you bring the sword down, slashing into it. He lets out this cry of pain as the lute hits the ground.
wait, can I catch the loot and break it over my knee?
Roll a dexterity check to see if you can catch it before it hits the ground.
You know, with my free hand that isn't holding a sword and shield. Alright, she doesn't. So she says, there's only room for one bard in this cage.
Okay.
And it's not this asshole!
He opens his mouth, his eyes widen, and then a big rock hits him.
We are all like, nah, man, fuck this guy!
He takes 16 points of damage.
Holy shit!
As
a huge rock just screams past you and slams into his head.
That'll show you to bring a guitar to a gunfight. Rock fight.
You see that Topher has set down his, like, oversized messenger bag of rocks, and he's picked one up over his head and has, like, chucked it like a soccer throw-in, and then just looking for the next person to throw a rock at.
I like to think that this particular cage is scored by Led Zeppelin. And I'm gonna hope that me and Topher the Ogre are friends, cause, like, Big, I respect his rocks, so, like, maybe he won't throw it at me.
While you're hoping that friendship begins, K and O just sort of scramble over towards Graham, and they just start grappling the shit out of him.
Oh no, my boy!
And because there's two of them, they get advantage on grapple checks.
Oh no! My boy!
Oh, wow. But you know, somehow, Graham isn't actually grappled.
Wow, I inspired my boy.
So they keep trying to do these, like, joint locks, finger locks, knee holds, and the whole time, like, they're very fast, but each time they get him, he just kind of, like, shakes them off a bit, and it's this constant thing before Graham's finally just like, will you just fuck off? And he lets out a power chord and slams them back with a thunder wave, which, yeah, they do not save.
My boy! Reagan raises her sword and says, "That's my boy!
That's my son. That's my son
My
over there."
beautiful son!
And because there's two of them, they do have a bit more HP, but they also take double damage from attacks. But they're going to take total 30 points of damage from that.
Oh, that's my boy!
The Battle Bard, as, like, he kind of, like, staggers from just, like, the rock which cratered his head, he looks over at you, Reagan, and he says, "You know, that's kind of funny. You know, this is funny? Your face." And I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Who, me, Reagan? You can't even see my face. I'm wearing a helmet. We're all wearing masks.
I mean, like, he still said it. And it still hurt, so roll wisdom saving throw.
Alright. How's a 13?
So 13 does not save, because, you know what? Normally, you'd beat the shit out of this dude, but that was really funny.
Shit, man, like, you're right. That was really funny. How much damage am I taking from how funny that fun joke was?
So you don't take any damage, but you do fall to the ground laughing your ass off.
I sure hope my boy saves me.
So, you get to make another wisdom saving throw.
Alright, I'm after him. It's my turn. No, that doesn't work either, because, like...
You know, cutting social humor is sort of like a faux pas nowadays, but it's just really funny. Like...
He's really funny, and Reagan, as she literally ruffles, waves a hand up at Graham, her boy, like, dude, can you believe this guy? He's hilarious!
Then,
It's ironic, because he can't see our faces, but he still said my face was funny.
So, Topher's gonna look at you, look at him, look at you, and look at him. Look at him again. And he's gonna throw him the rock. And Topher hits, baby. Oh, Topher, my boy. The battle part opens his mouth to, like, say something at Topher, to maybe try and, like, cast a spell on him as well. And then just as soon as he opens his mouth, just another rock right in the face. And he goes down.
Hey, does that mean I'm free?
So you don't get your turn this round, but yes, you are free. Topher then gets 2 points of crowd favor, which the crowd gives him begrudgingly because he doesn't really have a shtick. He just, like, throws rocks at people.
Yeah, like a noble in the crowd is just like, very well, golf clap.
I suppose he shall be my champion. Oh.
And that noble was Aldo von Tepler.
No, I mean, there are some nobles in this town.
Twist!
There are some nobles in this crowd, and some of them are, like sort of being that, like, reserved, detached, like, aloof people, but some of them are just, like, in the thick of it, like, screaming for this shit.
Wrestle.
Like, they cannot get enough of it. At this point, K and O, they are gonna try and grapple Graham again, and, fuck, what is up with these guys? Okay, this time they again try and form a two-person lock, and this time, instead of them getting close, Graham just skirts back and they land on their faces. They both look up, astounded by what keeps happening, and he goes, and he is gonna swing his short sword at them, which hits. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they have taken 40 plus damage so far. He's gonna look over at you, Reagan, and say, get him! Or something!
Aw, yay! I'm so inspired.
Battle Bard's down, so Reagan, you are up.
So we just got Topher and the grappled halflands.
Yep, K and O.
I'm gonna attack... Well, K and O are looking pretty rough, right? And they're currently engaged with my boy.
Those are both true statements. Yes.
But Topher's been knocking folks out, and I'm a little worried that I or my boy are next, so I'm gonna start going for him. So that's a 3. I'll use my inspiration die, because I can, which brings it to 4 plus 7, so 11.
So let me check this ogre boy, because he's not wearing armor, so, yeah, he gets hit.
Woo! Alright, thank you, my boy. Alright, she's gonna hit him with a sword, and I just rolled a d20 for damage. I'll just use that as my next roll, so it's 25 to hit for the next. Let's roll some d8s. Okay, first attack is 10 damage, second is 14. And you know, while we're here, I've got more disarming attacks. Let's just do that again. Strength save.
Alright, real talk. Topher, Bubala.
Forward to
How did you not save on a strength saving throw? You are...
Alright, let's add some damage. Alright, he drops his rocks and add 2 damage. And now he has to pick up a rock like a savage.
So he looks at you, looks at his rocks, and he gets this kind of look of anger and confusion and bewilderment and hurt.
Aw, you made him drop his
And
rock.
he didn't even throw a rock at you, so why would you throw your sword at him? Like...
I'm worried if he throws one at my boy, he's gonna die. So
Well, he is going to take a swing at you with his fists now.
Alright, let's do it.
That is an 18 versus AC.
Nope, I have 20 AC right now.
Okay, he goes in with just this huge overhand swing, and the force of the punch skids you back 5 feet.
Okay, Reagan goes, is that all you got?
No? And then K and O are gonna make one more try on this boy. Okay, and they finally get him into a submission hold.
Not my
And
boy!
he starts sitting there like...
We oiled him up so well, he was so slippery.
At this point, it is the end of 3 rounds for all 3 cages. What happens next? Brika may have figured this out if she saw it. The doors between each of the cages open, and they connect the cages to each other. Currently, there are 10 cages now connected to each other. And as they do, every single cage becomes electrified.
Yes!
Can I have another point of crowd favor for that?
Sure, take another point for it.
Oh my god, yay!
Do I now have access to any Dragonborn?
So, in Monty's cage, with the Wrestler, you see Mysterioso Fabuloso. And directly across from your cage, Reagan, is the man in the Gothicer colors.